So at Secondmuse, we're all about collaboration and bringing together diverse thinking and groups that normally would not work together to try to solve some of the world's biggest problems. And we really focus on building relationships and creating a deep shared understanding between all of the participants. And the way that we do that is very much contrary to the traditional approach that many consultant firms take, which is audit, solution, and rollout. So at Secondmuse, we've focused on a process that is cyclical. And it's a cycle that goes through every step of our process. And that cycle is reflection, co-creation, and practice. So when we approach a problem, we bring together all of the stakeholders and really try to reflect and deeply understand what the issue is, where people are coming from, their unique perspective, and how that's going to influence the process of co-creation. And when we're co-creating, we're always reverting back to the reflection. And once we've come up with a potential solution together, when we're implementing that in practice, we're constantly, rapidly iterating on the process, on the solution, and always going back to reflect. So a little bit about our scope of work. We focus on a variety of projects, but these are the key tangents that we tend to go through. But today I'm here to talk to you about one of our favorite and first projects, Random Hacks of Kindness. And Random Hacks of Kindness, we call it ROC, is hacking for humanity. And I know with the news lately with China, the term hacker has many connotations. But for us, hacking is creating, cobbling together solutions. Random Hacks of Kindness started with an idea. In 2009, there was a big conference panel. And on that panel were Microsoft, Yahoo, and Google. And someone from the audience posed the question, aren't there some issues that supersede corporate interest and any individual company's profit? And the panelists agreed. And in this case, what they were agreeing upon was that disaster response and humanitarian issues were more important than their individual corporate interests. And in the audience were representatives from NASA and the World Bank. And at the end of the panel, it was just, some folks went up to each other and said, are you really serious about this? Is Google, Microsoft, Yahoo, NASA, and the World Bank really going to work together? And if so, we're in. But they came up with then the problem. How do these companies work together? These are companies that are normally in deep opposition with each other. To illustrate, during the first Random Hacks of Kindness in 2009, it was a pilot event. And a gentleman from Microsoft went on to Wikipedia to put the entry about Random Hacks of Kindness on. And within minutes of posting it on Wikipedia, he was banned because nobody believed that it was actually true. They thought it was a joke. So from that first event, Random Hacks of Kindness has grown. And it's grown from a one-off event where technologists from around the San Francisco area came together to build solutions that in many ways directly responded to the disasters in Haiti and earthquakes. Today, Random Hacks of Kindness is a global community of over 6,000 technologists. More than 200 local companies and regional nonprofits, international nonprofits, and universities all contribute to over 200 events per year. From this community of technologists, more than 800 unique technology solutions, all of which are open source, have been created and are now being, in many cases, used on the ground. And so what is a hackathon? And how does this process work? And it all goes back to the cycle that I showed you. We begin with problem refinement, where we engage directly nonprofit organizations, companies, and anyone who has a problem that they want to solve. We refine that problem down to its very essence and try to understand what is the core that can be solved with a technology solution. And at that point, we co-create with the technologists at what I think are very fun events. It's a hackathon, which is a rapid prototyping event, usually takes about 24 to 48 hours, where volunteer technologists and representatives from companies and nonprofits all congregate in the same place, sit around, and create a solution. Then we move it into practice. And how do we get these solutions implemented on the ground by the organizations that need them? And I'll give you an example of how this has played out. So in Philadelphia in 2011, they have a huge I'll back up a little bit. Philadelphia has a big problem right now with homeless populations and how to get resources that are available in the community to those that need them. And how do those organizations work together? So a gentleman just happened to find out about the Random Acts of Kindness event in Philadelphia and attended and stood up and pitched his problem, said, this is our situation. When someone shows up at a homeless shelter, if we've got full capacity, there's no way for us to know where we can send him or her. So what the technologists did was build a program called Shelter. It's now in use in Philadelphia. And what Shelter does is it allows nonprofit organizations that serve the homeless and the city of Philadelphia to communicate with each other in real time via SMS text and a web platform. So Shelter was originally in Philadelphia. Today, other cities have seen what Shelter has been doing in Philadelphia and have actually modified it for use in their own city. It's all the way to Dominican Republic is now using it. 9 different cities around North America are using the Shelter application, and it's 100% free. And so what has happened is, from that one beginning, an entire community of innovators have come together around this cause to build solutions and perpetuate them in their own communities. But Random Acts of Kindness is about more than just technology solutions. As it's evolved, the Random Acts of Kindness community has begun to focus more on relationships. And through this common cause of local impact technology solutions, relationships have been formed that would have never been formed in a traditional setting. Corporations who would never work together now participate and collaborate openly, all towards a shared goal. This platform has also enabled collaborations between technology communities, hackers in their basements, university students, and major organizations like the Peace Corps, Transparency International, and Amnesty International, to have access and collaborate on projects that are deep to them, but they would have no resources to actually go out and implement them. And Random Acts of Kindness has also catalyzed the communities, the technology communities, the people that have the skills and want to contribute, but would have no entry into these organizations. Random Acts of Kindness has also begun to create an ecosystem of small business entrepreneurs and nonprofit creation. People are going to these hackathons not knowing anyone, meeting colleagues, sitting down at a table and working together on a solution and discovering that they have shared ground, they have shared vision, and they have passion for a project. And they're taking the next step after that and creating companies, getting consultant contracts with the organizations that want to continue funding their projects. And they're also forming nonprofit organizations to make sure that implementation happens after the hackathon is over. And Random Acts of Kindness, I believe most importantly, has changed the hackathon model. In early 2009, the hackathon model was very much focused on an individual language coding event, right? So you would have a bar camp or a Java hackathon. Random Acts of Kindness started in a helped start an entire movement of social good coding events. When it began, rock was the only one of its kind, and now you can't go into a city that isn't having a social good hackathon in any given weekend. In December, we had one of our semi-annual global events. And in many of the cities, there were 4 or more other social good hackathons happening. And so there's this entire ecosystem that's come about of technologists, companies, universities, and nonprofits all collaborating and working together. Random Acts of Kindness is a truly incredible project. And it's amazing to see what's grown out of it. This initial idea and the spirit in which these companies came together and said, we're going to put aside our individual interests for this one point. And that one point of common understanding has given the framework for an entire community and subsequent collaborations among many of these companies. It's a platform that has catapulted social coding into a whole new stratosphere. So with that, that's Random Acts of Kindness in a nutshell. Thank you.